Good evening, everybody. I would like to take your audio visual permissions to post the meeting on all the social medias to help and spread learning. So show me a thumbs up, please, if there is a problem, then let me know. And for people who have chosen not to put their cameras on, I take their guess. All right, some essential agreements which I've posted in the email as well. Please be open to collaborate, be respectful. There is no hierarchy. That's not the culture that we're trying to build. We faced it enough in the school. So shed your inhibitions and come out loud to share. To start with, I have created a Padlet, which I'm going to share the link in the chat. Okay, and so in the first chapter, the big idea of who the inquiry teachers, what do inquiry teachers do? When we talk about that, so I'm going to put you in the breakout rooms where you want to discuss that what do they do based on the read, and your group information can go on the Padlet, and we're going to discuss that forward. After that, we are going to go on chapter 2. So any learning intention you think we can add more to what I've shared, please help me with that. Anybody would like to say something or add on to that?
Just a query, Pallavi. This time, once we are going to have it in groups, the discussion.
Yes, because okay. What my understanding was from the last meeting is that after the class, nobody puts anything on the Padlet. So I thought we're just going to tune in, and this is not actually tuning in. The inquiry what do inquiry teachers do? I thought it's quite relevant because we all are one of the inquiry teachers. So how we can help with our understanding, our practices, what has been your experience when we read those points, when we read those points in so how was your practice, how did you apply? So all these questions keep in mind and see that as a group, what can you contribute more? I'm going to quickly put you into the breakout rooms. I've got lost. Where do we get the breakout option from? If this is the Padlet which we're going to do. So where do I go for putting you in the breakout?
You have to do it on the Zoom.
This free version, the breakout option is not there. I think it's there only in the paid version.
If you have to, have you done it in your settings first when you're making your the same ID? That's when we have to set and put the breakout rooms.
Oh, I'm sorry. Then let's do it individually. Next time I'll ask somebody professional to set up the Zoom meeting with the breakout rooms. I'm sorry. So I'll share the Padlet link with you. Here it is in the chat box. And come up with your practice, or you want to discuss here first and then go and write. What do you want to do? Nisha, what is your input? Nisha, you're on mute.
Yeah. I think let's share all the best practices, whereas one of us could just type simultaneously. So that way, that won't be a problem if somebody does not mind taking up the role of just filling it up on Padlet. That will be good.
Any volunteers do we have for that? I've shared the link. Anybody who would like to type? It's okay, I'll type.
The person who is fastest typing can do that, because even I would like to suggest the same thing what Nisha said. That is better.
Okay. I would actually require somebody's help here because I'm admitting everybody. I don't the link.
Yeah. Jigna is not there today.
Kiki, would you like to help us with this?
Yes, I'll be able to type.
Great. You have, and please put your video on. We would like to see your face.
Actually, I'm not feeling too well, so that's why I've switched off my camera, but I will switch on my camera once.
The link is in the chat box. Just see if you can do
Uh-huh.
that.
Yeah.
Right, Tasneem? Tasneem, would you like to start with what do inquiry teachers do?
I'm really very sorry, but I didn't read the chapter 2, so that's why I'm struggling today.
This is chapter 1.
And okay, I didn't read the book yet, so
Okay. Anybody who would like to help?
if you want to ask me about anything, okay. I thought we're going to read the book all together.
Initially, the plan was that, but then looking at the time constraint, we decided that we're going to read the chapters and come and share our understanding.
All right.
Tasneem, Pallavi, can I go ahead?
Please. Yes, please.
Okay. You know what? I actually one very important takeaway when I was reading, and I just thought that how the teacher reflects and what is her perspective, what is her how the teacher is. So I would say the openness is one very important element, or the kind of view that the teacher has guides the inquiry or would lead the inquiry still further. Just something thought that came to my mind as we were talking now.
Komal, do you want to add to that? Meena, Komal, Meena, video on, please. Monica, Sonia.
1, 2, and 3. Okay.
I'm not been able to join properly because there is a problem with the.
Yeah, it is one of those things that sometimes tends
That's
to
all
get
right.
put on
Anybody
the
who would like to collaborate more, who would like to share that what were your practices as an inquiry teacher and what, because many of you are PYPCs. So what are your expectations from the inquiry teacher? Let's put it that way.
Can you all hear me?
Yes, please. Sonia, please go ahead.
Yeah, Sonia here. So one thing that's worked for us, which we have started doing recently, is how we share the unit details with our students. So when we start a new unit, normally, you share the central idea and the lines of inquiry. What we do is we, either show them the central idea and then make them deconstruct it. That, take what is the important part and, take the phrases. Sometimes we jumble it up and ask them to match and make the central idea out of those words. Or then what are the lines of inquiry and what does it mean to them? And what are the questions that arise when they read the central idea? So then these questions, what we have started doing, and this is with grade 5, I'm talking, it works with grade 4 also, is dividing and, guiding them as to what are conceptual, factual, and debatable questions. So where factual questions may not lead to much of an inquiry, it's, very open and closed sort of a question answers. Whereas how conceptual and also debatable questions can lead to inquiry. This can be again done on a Padlet or some collaborative tool where they all list their questions, and then we can address these questions as we go ahead.
Thank you, Sonia. I think that's a beautiful connection from the last meeting where Nisha shared about the questions. Nisha, would you like to add on to this, please?
Okay, so if I have to talk about what am I looking out from my teachers in a classroom, I would say that I would want my teachers to ensure so the most important thing is your planning has to be very, very clear. As a teacher, I need to know what it is that I would like my big idea to be, and where am I giving opportunities for experiential learning, and secondly, for students to be agentic towards their learning. So if I am very clear about that and I know how to go about it, then you walk into the classroom and you must model how are you thinking? How does an inquiry look like? See, because a lot of us say that inquiry, 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 but what is inquiry? I mean, how is it? I mean, you can't just asking questions is not inquiry. There has to be something beyond that. And it is very important for teachers to model that. I'm thinking, why is this happening? Why is the factual knowledge, the facts that we have taken, transferring and moving to the conceptual understanding? How is it leading me to understand concepts? If you do not model it and show it to the children will never understand how their thinking is moving. It is just making it, we've all heard about the Project Zero and we've heard about the visible thinking. So actually what we are trying to do is visibly making sure that the children are understanding that we have content, we need to use that content to understand the concept. And when we have understood that concept, I need to transfer it to another situation to be able to test it. If I'm looking, so I spoke to this to my children just yesterday. I said, when you were in grade 1, you did solar system. You realized that the system was interdependent. You've understood the concept of system. Now, when I take that word system, and if I ask you to look into transportation system, or you look into an infra organization as a system, or a government as a system, will you be able to point out one thing that is important to understand system? And they said interdependence. So that's when I have understood that the children have understood the meaning of concept and they've become a lifelong learner because they have been able to apply it in another situation. And that's the language as teachers we must speak and model and say it loudly for the children to also understand the process they are taking to become an inquirer. I am using my collaboration skills to be able to collaborate within a group. I'm saying my perspective, my point of view, and I'm listening to the other's perspective, and then I'm seeing, has my viewpoint changed? Have I been able to take a stance? Have I been able to add anything? So these are the kind of words and things that consciously we must do it in a classroom so that the children also become inquirers. And I think the most important thing is for teachers to understand they need to model inquiry.
Thank you, Nisha. That's very valuable understanding and very, very valuable information that you've shared. From my experience, I have one thing to share. When I shared, because I've been teaching grade 2 and 3 when I was with the IB school, but when in eCurious Mind, I teach from nursery till grade 9. So one thing which worked very well for me was sharing the success criteria before. And if there is an assessment, I share the rubric, we co-create the rubric. Of course, it takes a lot of time, but that gave a lot of clarity to children. They exactly knew what was expected, what is the roadmap, and instead of getting diverted here and there, they were able to concentrate and bring in the content with their concepts. So that was a thumbs up for me. And the meeting countdown has started. 8 minutes. Sorry for this today.
So I think we should always follow something like show and don't tell. I mean, it's a term used in English when they are writing descriptive, but I think that consciously we must keep that in mind as a teacher, that we must show it and not tell our students about it.
Absolutely. So here I'm quickly going to read the points. Page number 21. I'm just going to give a quick snapshot. So if you want to add your practice, yes, Panna, I'm so sorry I didn't see your hand.
That's fine, Pallavi. Actually, I agree to Nisha what she said. Even we, like when I was with grade 2 and 3, I was teaching that. They're like it's show and tell. This really works. Like what is my perspective is if we are showing them something, a video or a situation or something like that, and then going ahead with again back to the previous person, what is her name? I'm so sorry about with this, sharing the central idea in bits like a puzzle form or something. So if we are doing that after showing something, then of course the students would have the a clear picture or the idea, and they only start themselves inquiring about what they're going to learn. I think that is a better idea, where the inquiry actually goes, and then the provocation starts and further on. So this is what we used to do, and of course with grade 2 and 3 it was working well enough. Sometimes we used to create some situation like that. If it is like a organization topic, then we used to like our class we used to model in that way, and then they used to keep the things in organized way, and this is how the word organization comes into picture, and then the inquiry starts and all. So even I feel that of course to model something is very important. So this is what I have to say. Thank you.
That's an excellent takeaway, to model. So don't speak. Sorry, don't show. Okay, don't tell. Show and don't tell. Right, Nisha?
Show and don't tell.
Yes, show and
Yeah,
don't
that
tell. Lovely. Anybody else before I miss any hand?
Just 1 second, I'll just say in short that I just wanted to say that what ma'am mentioned, unpacking a theme, that is something which
Sorry,
I feel is
essential agreement. Call everybody with name.
okay. Unpacking a theme is firstly very important when you're starting your new UI. And also I did the same thing, or how we organize ourselves. I unpacked the theme in a very nice presentation. And then after that, for tuning in, the central idea I presented with a jigsaw puzzle. Okay, there were buildings which were empty and there were buildings which were too crowded. And the kids were to imagine to form a central idea. What is the meaning? So they were imagining, can this be a hospital? Can this be, they were asking me, this building is empty, this building is too crowded. Some child said that maybe there is a virus, COVID virus in scene happening. So that is why too many people are rushing in. Everybody was guessing, and with the jigsaw puzzle, half of the central idea, they were able to get it. It's just started. I'm just saying unpacking a theme is important, as well as the central idea. If they form it, that's also a very nice, with the jigsaw puzzle, I had done it. It really helped them.
Thank you for that beautiful share. Anybody else? Amita and Kiki. Yes, both of you have raised your hand.
Oh, for me, I guess as an inquiry teacher, right, we need to develop a high order thinking in our learners, right? So it has to be, if the approach, we have to develop an approach of high order thinking that demands high order thinking in them. So students need to be continually challenged. They need to be continually challenged by the teacher. And how will we challenge them? By designing tasks that prompt students to question, predict, maybe gather, analyze, synthesize, and then lastly reflect on what they're doing. So this is how, as an inquiry teacher, I guess we can go ahead by coming up with tasks where they can question, or maybe if we are reading out a story to them, maybe we read 2 pages to them and then ask them to predict. That is where their higher order thinking starts. So these are the things that I feel for an inquiry teacher is necessary. The task should be such where they get where we develop or where we design to prompt the students to design to prompt the learners to question, or maybe predict, or gather, analyze, or synthesize, and lastly reflect about it. So this is what I wanted to share.
Absolutely. I think we all second you on that. Yes, Kiki, please go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to share that as an inquiry teacher, I personally always follow the cycle of choose, act and reflect. So whenever we are planning, a learning engagement, or we are planning anything, yes, we do choose the best. That what we can design. And then when it goes into the class or with the students, it might take a very, very different, road. And then a teacher, an inquiry teacher, should always reflect that whatever was that effective, was that not effective, how we can better it, or how we can involve children in it. Of course, agency plays a big role in inquiry. So, as personally, I always do this act of choose, act, and reflect whenever I'm into an inquiry class, and when I come back and reflect on, how the class was, taken forward, or the delivery of the class. It gives me a very clear perspective as what I need to do next. So that has been my mantra, of course, because one task might go very well in one class, one section. It might just fall flat with another set of students. So this I have personally experienced, that I might feel that, oh, it went very well in my class. When I deliver it in some other section, it just falls flat because the skill set, the thinking, everything is different for another set of students. So we cannot have, again, one set of clothes for everybody. So you have to keep inventing yourself as an inquiry teacher.
Absolutely. Sorry, we have less than a minute. The meeting is going to get over. Can we have a meeting? Can anybody again make a meeting that invite, which will give us, who has the paid version? I don't have a paid version. Can anybody do that? We can share it in the group and everybody can join in, because it's less than a minute.
Pallavi, it's for 40 minutes. So how it's
I
not
don't know.
going
It
to
says less
get
than
over.
a minute. See, that's what it is saying.
You must have created the group and then started. That's why.